Welcome to the PVG Football Podcast. We're doing a Monday night episodes now. So first things first, we're going to recap Monday Night Football. That was pretty weak. That was not fun to
They
watch.
should ban the Broncos from ever playing on Russell Wilson. I've seen enough of Russell Wilson to last a lifetime.
Yeah, it's too many primetime games for the Broncos. They've been pretty bad to watch.
And then you're like, they tease you with like some good play in the first quarter, and then the rest of the game is just
That
a,
was
a snooze fest
that was just bad
extraordinaire.
football.
It was Austin Eckler and Gerald Everett and Justin Herbert had like
You
4 points.
you had Austin Eckler and Gerald Everett, and the guy you were going against had Justin Herbert, and it was literally he would not throw to anybody but those two. It was so crazy. He must have been so irritated watching that.
I don't. Every time there was a pass to the wide receiver, it seemed like it was a pass interference on that one
It was
guy.
a pass interference. Yeah, the Denver corner. He had a tough day. McManus kicking field goals and Hopkins kicking field goals, and
I made the right choice in playing Geno Smith over Herbert.
that was the right choice. I scoffed at you when you said that the other day. I
But
was
then
like, Geno Smith
I
over
also
her.
said
You literally,
played Geno Smith ahead of Joe Burrow,
yeah,
which
that was a bad call.
in 4 out of 5 leagues I put Burrow in, and I had Burrow and Chase in a couple of leagues that haven't been doing so well, except for I got the wins this time.
Good week for you. You won. I lost. I scored the second most points this week and lost. I hate when that happens. It's so annoying. And literally, I lost on that basically when we talked about Curtis Samuel, that 40-yard touchdown he dropped. That
Yeah,
was pretty much the margin of victory right there. And that Mahomes interception. If Mahomes drives down and scores a touchdown there, I probably win too. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It happens. It's fantasy football. We had a guy in our league that scored like 89 points and won, and I scored like 160 something and lost. It's just fantasy football is cruel sometimes.
a
But yeah, so
cruel mistress.
yeah, a recap here of all the games, and then we'll go over our pickups of the week after watching the games yesterday and tonight. So you want to go through, we'll start with the 49ers game because that was the first game really that kind of ended and first game that we watched, obviously, because we're both Niners guys. So what did you think about Shanahan, or I would call him scared of hand now because he just will not, call any plays that are like he doesn't want to go downfield. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. Now, granted, they did have a couple of downfield plays where they
full,
dropped the ball, but
full disclosure, I kind of had a feeling this is a trap game, and
mm-hmm.
I just had it on red zone, and I didn't really watch. I recorded it, and I was gonna watch it last night, and I was like, do I really want to sit through a Shanahan chasing points game? Like I
Yeah,
already know I already know he's just abandoning the run. He's
yep,
taking too many risks, and there, every time in the chat it was like fumble, interception, interception,
yeah.
stack, and I was like, I
Yeah,
don't,
it was just a
I
weird game the way it played out. Like so the Niners they let Atlanta just drive it right down their throat. Like Huntley, that guy's got a lot of girth, and he like was literally 3-4 yards of carry. They pick up the third down, 3-4 yards of carry, pick up the first down, like all the way down the field. They take up almost the first quarter. Niners get the ball, like a couple of plays in, Jeff Wilson fumbles. Suddenly they're down 14-0, right? They come back, quick drive, they score a touchdown. Ayuk has two touchdowns, his best game of the season, his breakout game, I would say. But we talked about him a little bit too last podcast because he, like we said, he's got all the talent, he could do those things, and like he showed that in yesterday's game. But then
don't trust him though.
yeah, I
I
still
don't
want,
trust that Jimmy's gonna spread the ball or
yeah.
like that he's gonna have the opportunities. I don't trust Ayuk. Someone tried to trade me Ayuk and running back for Dalvin Cook. I was like, reject. Like,
Yeah.
it was like David Montgomery and Ayuk for Dalvin Cook. I was like, no, thanks.
No, I don't know if I would do that trade. Yeah, it's hit or miss. Like he's gonna have that game where he has 2 touchdowns, and he's also gonna have like 3, 4 catches for like 60 yards. And that's pretty
Yeah.
much like his MO like every game, especially because they've got so many weapons. Like eventually Kittle's gonna, score some touchdowns and Debo's gonna score some touchdowns, and you get running back touchdowns. So he's kind of like the third or fourth option on the
What do you think
team. So
about that other trade I did? I'm trading Stefan Diggs for DeAndre Hopkins,
okay.
Gabriel Davis, and Jeff Wilson Jr.
It's a that's a good trade. I mean, there's a lot of players. I mean, who you
I
dropping to
needed
get
I needed I needed
got some
players.
depth?
It's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah,
like
you got some
it's like
depth.
it's like a
And
two flex league,
yeah,
and I needed players.
I
So
like it. You got Gabriel Davis who can get you a long touchdown here and there. Like he seems like he's become more of a hit or miss guy. Like it looks like he's either going to get you a long touchdown or he's not going to
he's
really get you much. He doesn't really get many targets. He gets like 3, 4 targets a game. So,
he gets 3 4 bombs a game, and if he
mm-hmm.
catches them, then you'll
And you're
have
good.
like one or two touchdowns a game. But
Yeah,
if he doesn't catch them, he's very touchdown dependent,
he is.
and it's like he's
Yeah.
not getting like 10 targets. Like I don't think he has more than like 7 targets in the season,
No, no,
and
he's got very few targets. He's maybe 5 or 6 is his most. Yeah. So,
but he has been hurt. So
he was. So now he's healthy. And the 2 games that he was healthy and back, the first game he was healthy, he scores a touchdown. Next 2 games, he scores 3 touchdowns. So we'll see moving forward. I think they're on bye this week. So,
yeah,
we're not going to see him this week, but next week we'll see what happens in the
and I
week
was right about
week
the
8.
Jets.
You were.
No,
The Jets pulled the upset. Man, I thought the Packers would win. I didn't think the Packers were going to cover. Like I thought it was going to be a close game, but I didn't think they were just going to get stomped. And they got stomped.
I
Like the
know
Jets just dominated. I think their defense
the
had like
Jets beat
23
some good.
points or something like that.
They beat 3 good teams before that, so I was like, I think the Jets might have a chance against
Yeah, the
Green Bay,
Jets
and
might be decent this year, right? And plus, like, I talked about Brees Hall, like saying, like, hey, you're happy if you have this guy on your team, like a lot of because now he's just balling out. So in another big, huge game,
I missed the
Brees Hall, yeah,
Brees Hall. I didn't
drafting
draft
him.
him. I
Yeah,
didn't draft him, but
yeah, he's
I
looking
wasn't sure
good.
about the Jets. The only
So
player I drafted from the Jets was Elijah Moore, and he hasn't
yeah,
done
he's been
anything.
terrible. I don't know how much their receivers are any good because I picked up Garrett Wilson. I think we talked
Well,
about it last week, and he had like 1 point
well, the games
yesterday.
they only
So
threw the ball 18 times, and it's
yeah,
like
and I think that's going to be their game plan. They're going to play defense and run the ball, and they're going to throw little dump passes to the running back. So that's pretty much it. So Brees Hall, Michael Carter's going to have a little value, but other than that, that's the only guy I'm playing on the Jets and their
yeah,
defense. I think their
Brees
defense. They're
Hall.
playing Denver this week, so they should have another good game.
Yeah,
So
that looks like a
that'd be
win.
a one of our pickups. I would say if you're going to looking for to stream a defense, I would say the Jets. Then I also picked up the
Yeah,
Raiders because they're playing Houston. So I think that might be a good streaming defense this week.
the Raiders.
The
I, f-
Raiders.
I feel like this is the season. Like, not only is this the season for the Raiders on the line, like they're 1-4. If they go to 1-5, not only is the end of the season, but it might be the end of the Derek Carr future in the Vegas because
Mm-hmm.
how much can he take?
I
Like,
can see that. So I think we'll get into that more on Friday when we talk about the preview next week.
oh yeah,
But I think right now, looking forward, I think it's definitely a must-win game against Houston for sure.
yeah,
Hopefully they get it
they're
done.
both off buys. Um,
Yeah.
it's
So we'll see what happens.
I picked up
So
Bailey Zappi in my two QB league and started him.
yeah, what do you think about New England looking dominant again? They beat Cleveland pretty good. I think we kind of all thought that was going to happen because Belichick always seems to get that defense to play well. especially
he
when he
always
goes
beats
against guys he
his
knows.
previous
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks.
He
He
knows how to
always
beat those guys
he,
for
he
sure.
he knows what they're good at. He knows what they're not good at. And
Exactly.
I had
Yeah.
the New England defense starting in a lot of leagues, and
Yeah. He got a good, they scored double digit points. I think it was like what, 12 or 15 points.
I think that
So
13 or 15, something like that.
yeah. So they did well. He got some points out of them, and that was a good
But
play this week.
um, the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs played the big
Mm-hmm.
game.
Yeah. What'd you think
Um,
of that game? I thought it was a little bit low
I,
scoring for what I
I
thought it was
was
going to
so
be.
upset when I was at a pizza joint and just getting a sandwich, and when McKenzie tripped over his own feet, like the turf monster got him,
Yeah, he would have scored a
and
touchdown there.
I had a I had this I picked him up and I stacked him with Josh Allen, so that would have been
Yeah.
double points for me,
Double
and
points.
and then
That
I literally slammed the table out. The people next to me were like, "What the
was me when
hell?"
Curtis Samuel dropped his 40-yard touchdown bomb.
uh,
Ugh, I lost my
uh,
match because of that guy. Oh
uh,
well.
but
So there we go. Isaiah McKenzie with the drop and Curtis Samuel with the drop. Both
McKin-
guys
both of them had the case of the
drops
drop skis.
drops. Yep.
Both of them had a case of the drop skis. They both got targeted like 5 times, and
Mm-hmm.
when you start dropping balls like two
They're
or
not
three
gonna throw
balls
to
in a
you.
game, they're gonna stop throwing. They don't
Mm-hmm.
trust you anymore. Like this guy's not
Yep.
gonna catch it. Like
Basically, that's what happened. And
both of
so
them,
yeah,
you know.
Gabriel Davis like caught the long touchdown. Stephon Diggs was a monster. Travis Kelsey had another good game, of course, and
And then Dawson
Juju Smith
Knox,
Schuster was the guy
and then Dawson
from
Knox.
Kansas City who had the big game, the receiver. So that's like all hit and miss. He's got like MVS and Juju
That
and
was the first touchdown for
Hardman.
MVS and
And I got called
Juju.
back. MVS has
What?
got called back.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
saying that was the
He
first
had
touchdown
0 points.
between both of them
Oh, yeah,
all
between the
season long.
receivers. Yeah. I
Like
know. It's been weird, man. It's been a weird year for Kansas City. Mahomes has been putting up numbers, but not that great. But because they don't really got the receivers this year, like without they don't have anybody to replace Tyreek Hill
and
for
Kelsey
sure.
had like 12 points, right?
Yeah, he had a decent game. I mean, it wasn't the best game for any of the players, even Mahomes. It was average. Even he's,
Stephon Diggs had a monster game.
yeah, he did. So you're going to keep playing that guy for sure. But you traded him. So we'll see how that works out
Had
for
to.
you.
I
Yeah,
I
but we'll see
lost.
Hopkins coming in. So, Arizona looked terrible too. I mean, Kyler Murray, that was a game I called. I said Seattle was going to beat Arizona. So I was right on that one. So if any of you took
Yeah,
that advice,
we we both said Seattle was gonna
mm-hmm.
win. Like Arizona's terrible. I can't believe the Raiders lost to them. That's why I think they're gonna lose to Houston because it's like,
Yeah,
how could you lose to the Cardinals when you're up 20-0? Like, uh,
that was the worst loss that I saw this year was that Raiders loss to the Cardinals.
that was the only play they were leading was at the end. And
That was
same
so
thing
bad.
happened today. Same thing happened in the Chargers game. The only play they were leading was at the winning field goal. And
It's
and
crazy. I
same thing
can't believe
happened to
Denver.
Buffalo and Baltimore. Buffalo, the
Yeah.
only play they were winning. This has been a crazy year with like the comebacks
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you
Yeah,
don't
the
know what's
Giants with
gonna
another win.
happen.
They beat Baltimore. They came back and won.
Both the New York teams are doing
Saquon Barkley. Yeah,
good.
right. All the New Yorkers are
Gee,
all
man.
feeling.
I think I'm the only 49er fan that likes the Giants.
Why do you like the
I
Giants? Since when? Since like
like
yesterday? Since Saquon, you got Saquon on your team or what?
no, I don't have Saquon. I don't care. I like the Giants.
Yeah, they're always a decent team. But
They're fun to
Brian, you got to
watch.
say, Brian Dayball is that guy has been a revelation for them, man. As a head coach, he brought
Same
in a
thing with
different
Salah
attitude.
in New York Jets.
Yeah, just
Salah
like
got he's
tough,
like
hard nosed dudes.
we're taking receipts and the people in
Yeah,
New York are like, "Hey, what's he talking about?" And then they
yeah,
win four straight.
yep. That's how the team responded, man, and they responded to that. So that was good. Sal was a good coach, man. When he was with the Niners, he was. a good defensive coach.
What do
So
you think about Russell Wilson and his they talked about his
now
never
he's a
ending positivity and how it kind of doesn't play well because he doesn't play well.
yeah.
And so it's like I'm gonna be positive and I'm gonna but it's like
He's a funny dude. That dude
you
is just a he's just a
fake
funny
it
dude.
fake it till you make it only goes so far, you know.
Yeah.
You can't fake it when you're not making the plays on the field, you know. And
And now
it's
he's got
like,
a hamstring injury too. So
oh, he does.
yeah, that's what they just said. He hurt
Oh,
his
really?
hamstring. They don't know what's gonna happen. So
Denver
we'll see what
mortgaged their
happens.
future. They traded 10 players and they I don't know why how you can honestly like John Elway must have been drunk when he made that trade. Like like you watch the tape of him last year and he looks awful.
Yeah.
Seattle's awful and he's none of the wide receivers are making any plays. None of them are catching any touchdowns. And then you give him $240 million over 7 years and trade 10 players for him. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it was a good deal, to say the least. So, I mean, they're gonna lose next week to the Jets. So,
Not only
yeah.
next week, they're gonna lose for the next 3 years.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. They're not looking too
And
hot.
no matter how good Nathaniel draws it up, when Russell Wilson isn't
That guy's
throwing
an
the ball
idiot
down the
too.
field
He doesn't know
and
what he's doing.
Hackett,
No.
I think
He
Hackett's a
had they
good
had a
coach,
chance to
but
kick a field goal. They had McManus tonight's game. They have McManus who can kick it 60 yards, and they had a 55 yarder. There at no, there was a it was less than that. It was a 54 yarder, and they decided to punt. They had it at the 39-yard line, but it was then Herbert had the interception, and then they got another field goal, right? But if they would have got the field goal there and then kicked it off to them and they had the interception, then they got another field goal, then they'd be up six instead of the three, and they would have won the game, because it wouldn't have gone to overtime. And then Herbert, they want to score three more with the
that's a lot of what
field
if
goal.
stuff. But you know,
You like all my what ifs, but I'm just
you're just
saying, like,
mad because you had
why did
McManus.
I am a little bit, but still, I would have. Why didn't he not have him kick a 54-yard field goal? The guy can kick a 60-yarder. He's shown it. Why not? They like punted there. That was such a weird thing, because it may have been longer, and maybe it was
I think it was 56 yards. But
yeah, it was
so
56. It was at the 39. So I think it's usually about a 16 yards, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it
I think it's
was
17 yards.
17
But
yards. Yeah. So from 39, 17 yards, little quick math, that's 56, right? So,
yeah,
oh
but
no, 57, 56.
something like that.
56. Yeah. So,
I
I
don't
mean, why
know.
not let him kick it, bro? You would have made it. You would have made
You still wouldn't have
it.
got your win,
No, I
buddy.
wouldn't. I would have lost still by like five. But a kicker to get like 20 something points, that would have been pretty crazy. Because I mean, you think about it, it could have happened, right? He gets that field goal and they could kick it in OT, and then Russell Wilson just stinks. it wasn't it wasn't gonna happen.
At least the Colts only gave Matt Ryan they traded like a third round pick for him.
Yeah.
The Denver traded 10 players, like to mortgage their draft capital
Yeah, they traded a lot for
and
him.
and just signed them to a $240 million contract for
Yeah,
seven years.
that's a little
Like
much.
for a
Yeah.
quarterback that is seeing ghosts, he's seeing ghosts out there. You know,
Yeah, he's
he's
not playing
too
well.
concerned with the rush to
Mhm.
look down the field to make plays on it. He, when remember Steve Young in the end of his career, like the look of like fear and
Yeah.
anguish, like he was about to get
He
killed
was
out there,
ducking every
and
time.
and
Yeah,
and
he was dealing with some concussions, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to retire. He was
yeah,
done.
but
Yeah, he
when
was done.
when
I mean, I think
quarterbacks
Russell
start
Wilson is pretty much there too.
when quarterbacks start like obsessing about the rush and more concerned about the rush than looking downfield and making a play, then
Yeah.
that's when you're like, okay, this guy's past his prime. This guy's on the decline. And then you trade 10 players and like what?
That was a little much for a aging, terrible Wes Wilson. So Pete Carroll knew what he was doing, huh? So he
Pete
decided to trade
Carroll,
him,
well,
and they got to win. They got Geno
they
Smith playing good,
that's like
and
Herschel
they're like
Walker
tied for
trade.
first
The
in the
Herschel Walker
NFC.
trade to the Dallas Cowboys. Pete
Yeah,
Carroll's that's gonna make Seattle good for the next like 5
yeah.
years.
No, Seattle actually is going to pull it off. It looks like because they look decent and they're going to compete in every game,
And
especially their games at home.
not that Gino's the answer moving forward, but
I
Gino's
mean, he's playing well.
he's playing well this year, but they're probably gonna have to draft a quarterback at some point, you know?
Yeah, they will. They'll probably draft one this draft,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean,
And
I mean, I
They have Denver's pick, right?
it's yeah, it's so crazy how bad the NFC West is this year. It
The
was like
NFC,
just like a couple of years ago, it was like the
the
best
bestest.
division.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, the Cardinals, oof, they look terrible. The Rams, I thought they were gonna lose to Carolina.
Are you looking
Like
for the hard knocks in the
it wasn't looking
Cardinals?
good. Oh no. Who's gonna watch that? DeAndre Hopkins
DeAndre
doing
Hopkins comes
steroids.
in and they went four straight.
Yeah. Let's see what he does. I'm kind of excited to get him back in my lineup, my fantasy lineup. So we'll
And I
see
got
it.
him in
My
one
trade's
league.
looking pretty good right now, though. Except Ayuk had 23. I could have used those 23 points this week
That
instead of Curtis
trade
Samuel. If I would have traded Curtis Samuel instead of Ayuk, oh
that trade that you did, yeah, that would be the better trade. But
yeah.
I was bashing you for that trade and saying you need to go to concussion protocol. But
No, maybe
but
you
but
need to get a concussion protocol because I think I won that
but
trade.
James Robinson
Kamara,
hasn't done shit
James,
since you
nope.
traded him.
Since I traded him, he's gone had like
His
3 points, 6 points, 2 points,
5 points.
and Kamara has literally outscored him in both games,
Kamara has been
and
doing
he missed
really
one of the
well.
games he was inactive, and so
Yeah.
Kamara's had like 20 points a game pretty much, and so
And then
yeah,
you're
he
getting Hopkins
and now
for
I'm getting
Ayuk
Hopkins for Ayuk, and so we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, Ayuk had
and
a good game, so
Brown is out. Brown looks like he's gonna miss
yeah,
six
Brown is
at
out for
least
six
six
weeks with the
games,
foot injury, so now
maybe more, maybe the
Hopkins
season.
was a good trade, good pickup, and
Yeah,
and they also traded for Robbie Anderson. So we'll see what happens. Robbie Anderson might be a pickup this week. There's not a lot of pickups on the
I
wire
want to
this
make a
week.
prediction. Anderson isn't gonna make it to Hard Rocks in season. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I think they're trading for him, and I don't know how he's not going to do nothing. I don't really think he's going to do anything. But I mean, you got to pick him up just in case because he's going to be a receiver that's going to get play. He'll be probably be playing over AJ Green because AJ Green has like nothing left. That
AJ
guy has
Green's
nothing left.
done,
He's
but
he's cooked.
they
But I think DeAndre
already
Hopkins is going to get like 12 targets a game. It's going to
they
be nuts.
already cut and Andy Isabella, and
Mm-hmm.
you really want a receiver that hasn't done anything for the last 2 years and is a head case like
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
team?
No, I don't know
Like
what that trade was about. That was a stupid trade, but uh, you know, he's worth a pickup. Put him on your bench and see if he does anything. But I highly doubt you'll ever play him. There isn't much picking up this week, man. Honestly, I feel like the Jets defense is probably like the best pickup you're gonna have, and then
Jets
maybe
defense.
Daniel
What about
Carlson
I
coming off a
picked up
bye.
Deion Jackson
Oh man, don't
in
even
like
remind me, bro.
I picked up Deion
Why didn't
Jackson in like 5 leagues and I played him
Why
and
didn't you pick him up in this league, bro? You said you let Santos pick him up, and he beat me because of that guy.
I always use up my move limit by the time
Yeah, why didn't you pick up Dean Jackson, man?
I think my
Why
last
didn't you say anything? You let Santos pick him up on Saturday night,
my
and he
last
puts
pickup
him in
was
his lineup.
Benjamin. I picked up Benjamin, but now he's hurt.
Benjamin, I know. Oh, that's right, because he wasn't in, and they were playing like some rookie or something like that. I don't even know who it was.
Ingram, something Kantani Ingram,
There you go. Look at
Keontae
that.
Ingram, something
Look
like
at
that.
that. See, that's why I got you here, man. That's why I got you.
Keontae
The
Ingram.
all-knowing Pinocchio.
Keontae Ingram might be the number one waiver wire pickup of the week. He
It could be. I have a feeling that Connor will be back this week, though. I feel like did he have like a real? He
they
was kind of
said
limited, right?
they said he's gonna miss multiple weeks. There's two different reports. There's one that said 1 week, and then one that said multiple weeks. So I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's your pickup of the week, then, huh? Kitani Ingram for the Cardinals.
No, I was just kidding. I don't know.
Did you just make up that name?
The receiver on the Patriots, their rookie
Oh,
Thornton,
Taekwon Thornton.
Taekwon
Yeah,
Thornton. That guy
he's
might
a
be a
pickup
pickup.
this week because he looked like he was pretty solid. He had a
If you
rushing
need a
touchdown and a
quarterback,
throwing touchdown.
Ailey Zappy Hour.
Yeah, Zappy. He's on the.
Zappy Hour. It's always Zappy Hour.
He's been pretty good, man. He's been pretty good. I think he might pull the old Brady on Mac Jones there and start for the rest of the season.
Bill Belichick's all being coy about it. He's like, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
The
Trust me.
writing's
Yeah,
on the wall on Mac Jones. His season's over
I think so, man. I think it's gonna be
unless
Bailey
Zappy gets hurt.
Zappy time,
Zappy time.
unless he gets hurt. Exactly. What other games that are of
Zappily
interest?
ever after.
Minnesota beats Miami. Miami, they're bringing Tua back next week. So I told you Tua would be back next week. You're like, what? When do you think he's going to be back? He's going to be out forever. So we called that. So
Miami is went from 3-0 to losing three in a row.
yeah,
And
I think they're going to win this week. I have a good feeling about their chances this week. Do you
who
know who
they
they're
play?
playing? I'm gonna do some research, I guess. I think they're playing Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, they're gonna win this week.
They should they
Tua's
should
gonna come back triumphant. He's gonna throw some bombs to Tyreek, and it's gonna be a party.
they should flex that game out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad game.
But
Kenny
Pittsburgh
Pickett.
beat
They
Tampa
should
Bay.
flex it for the Niners and the Chiefs this week, man. That's gonna be a should be a Super Bowl rematch. Come
Yeah,
on
but
now.
everybody's hurt on the Niners.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna. I heard they're gonna get Bosa and Trent Williams back. So
Oh really?
supposedly, maybe Bosa for sure. I think is gonna play, and Trent Williams might. So we'll see how the practice reports shake out this week. So yeah, Tevin Coleman did nothing. We talked about him last
Yeah,
week.
I didn't really play him in that.
Yeah.
I came to
I
my
mean,
senses. I was like, his points aren't going up any. I was like, but I played him in a couple leagues, like because I didn't have any. I had like Huntley, so I would have got like 5 points instead. But in one league, I left him in instead of Deontay Jackson, which I was gonna kill myself. But
Deion Jackson, the
Deion Jackson,
Colts. Yeah. Ugh.
that was
That
sad.
guy, he was the number one running back this week. So that was the pickup of the week. And of course,
But he got hurt too.
he's the guy that beat me. Yeah, he got hurt. So Philip Lindsay time. I think Jonathan Taylor will be back because he was close to playing this week.
Jonathan Taylor has been a bust.
Yeah. I mean, Deion Jackson, like he was looking like he was gonna be the man. Like he's catching balls, running people over. Looks like a three down back.
And then the Jaguars, James Robinson
Yeah,
looks like the third option.
yeah. They got Travis Etienne and Jamichael Hasty sighting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jermichael Hasty might be the pickup.
He had that one long touchdown. I think he
How
did
many
anything
carries
else.
did he get?
He only got a couple.
I was kind of surprised when the 49ers cut him because
Yeah, they had to.
he's got that home run capability, you know?
He basically just had three carries, and the one of the carries was like almost
60
like
yards.
50 yards. So he only had 57 yards total. So
I think his touchdown was a 57 yarder. So
it was. So
two.
he got two stuffs and one 57-yard TD.
Home run or bust.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd go with Jermichael Hasty as a pickup. And that Jacksonville,
In deeper leagues,
they're kind of a. I don't think the Jacksonville's gonna. I think they kind of had their moment in the sun, and now they're gonna kind of
come
go
back to
back to earth.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm not all in on D
And then
Law
you
like I
just don't know
was.
because they've got Marvin Jones Jr. and then they've got Zay Jones. Just know who's gonna. You don't know who's gonna be good each week.
Christian Kirk caught a touchdown, and
And then
then
it's Christian Kirk too.
he had a fumble on the last play of the game where they're doing the fucking
Oh yeah,
the
the
whole.
laterals, and he got charged with it, huh?
I was I was like, he was down, and they charged him with a fumble. It was like
That's 2 points, man. That's
he
many.
was down.
That was like Mahomes, man. Mahomes killed me. He had 2 interceptions. He barely ever throws 2 interceptions, especially at home.
Yeah,
That was bad. I was kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I'm on the fence
I'm
between the
glad
Bills and the
Buffalo
Chiefs.
won. I'm a
I wanted
Buffalo
the Bills
Bills
to win
fan.
too.
I'm a Bills fan. Josh
So
Allen
Josh Allen got his
for
revenge.
president. Josh
Oh
Allen for
yeah.
president.
Oh yeah. Josh Allen. Like I said, QB1.
Rams, Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams won. Cooper Cup did his thing.
He had
Daryl
12
Henderson had
points.
his 15 points or whatever. Like I said, 15 to 20 that I knew he would.
And then
Christian
they
McCaffrey had another good game.
Christian
That's all
McCaffrey had
there
a good
is
game.
on Carolina. That's it. It's Christian McCaffrey and nobody else. He's.
DJ Moore got 2 points to
I hope they trade Christian McCaffrey.
the Niners.
I'd hope to the Niners, even if they traded him like anywhere besides Carolina. I mean, if he goes to Buffalo, I mean, imagine that him catching passes out of the
Run,
backfield from
Buffalo
Allen.
doesn't run enough.
Yeah, but he's like a receiver more so. Like I think they would use him more out of the backfield to catch
Oh,
balls.
okay.
Denver was in on him, but he's not. If I'm McCaffrey, I
Murray
do
looked
not
good.
want to go
Murray
to
might be
Denver.
the pickup. Murray might be
Yeah,
the
Latavius Murray is looks like he's going to be the starter here on
Murray's
Denver.
probably the number one pickup of the week
Yeah,
because
Latavius
he
because
looks like
Melvin Gordon.
he's Melvin Gordon. I don't know what he did, but they might trade him for Cam Akers.
That's another thing. Cam Akers is definitely going to get traded from the Rams, so we'll see what happens where he goes. Who decides to take
What
that
about the
on?
Niners for Cam Akers? They could afford that. I don't know. Christian McCaffrey might be out of their range with like,
Yeah, I just don't think they'd make a deal with the Rams, to be honest. So,
oh really?
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Even if it did, you know what I mean. Even if it was a good fit, I don't think it's going to happen.
What if the
But
Rams have some inside information on Cam Akers and they're like, we'll give the bad apple to the 49ers?
49ers, yeah, I know. Maybe Doggy has some inside information on his trade.
He's,
That was
he's,
a that was a lose-lose trade so far.
he's got some bad wisdom teeth.
So let's talk about the Eagles and the Cowboys. I
Um,
It looks like Cooper Rush is back to a frog or whatever he was before. So they're ready to bring back Dak. So after that performance, looks like he couldn't hang with the big boys. So I think it's Dak's going to come back, and hopefully the Cowboys offense can start producing some points. Like I know I have Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and those guys and Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott. He looked a little spry on his little touchdown run. He kind of made
Zeke
the
Zeke had
outside,
his
but
best game of the year, I think, and
yeah,
you can't really tell which one of the running backs are gonna have a good game. It's like one day it's Pollard and one day it's Zeke,
yeah,
but Philadelphia looks like they're not gonna lose until late in the season.
yeah. Philadelphia is that team this year. Kind of had that feeling coming in because they made a lot of good free agent signings and they made some good moves. So
I think the Miami 1972 Miami Dolphins are gonna have to wait for the
they got
champagne
their champagne.
party
Yeah, right. They got their champagne on ice
because
every game,
I don't think Indy's
waiting for
gonna
the
beat
loss.
them. The next 5 or 6 games are like after their bye are like teams that are around 500. So
Yeah. And Jalen Hurts is QB2 this year. So got QB1 is Josh Allen, and then we got Jalen Hurts. I think he's QB2. And then it looks like Lamar's kind of come back to earth again. So I
yeah.
don't, I don't think he's going to be much of a threat to the top 10. I think it's
What about
Hurts. It's yeah,
Aaron Rodgers looks like
he's done. He's
he's
done. He's seeing ghosts, like you
is he?
said. A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah. Especially to get against the Jets, he would look like he was just not having a good time. And a lot of teams know how to beat him now, and now that they don't really have any receivers and stuff, so Alan Lazard caught
He
another
said it
touchdown.
after the
So
game. If you think we have the right players, then we got to simplify things. And
yeah,
if you don't, then that's a whole nother issue. And
yeah.
they they underestimated the Devontae Adams effect on.
I mean, I don't know how you could not. I mean, he literally would throw to Devontae Adams 12 to 15 times a game, and he would get him most of his first downs and his touchdowns. It's like, dude, you can't take a guy who's
You can't
leading the
trade.
league in receiving and
They should have traded.
touchdowns, and
They should have been the ones that
get
were
rid of
trading
him.
for AJ Brown.
Yeah, he had to replace him with somebody. I mean, Alan Lazard is the closest thing that they have, and he's about half the talent.
Yeah.
So
Green Bay's probably not gonna do anything this year.
no, and there's Tampa Bay. They lost
Tampa Bay,
to the Steelers. I mean,
Brady and Rodgers both look like they're
yeah,
they're they're not gonna do much this year.
they look like they're
Are
old.
they in first place?
No, I think they're all 3-3.
Oh, okay. So it's the
They're all
same thing
tied.
as like the NFC West
Mm-hmm. A lot of
because
teams are 3-3, and then there's
New
a few
Orleans
4-2
lost.
teams, and then 1-4 and 5-1 is the Giants, and then I think the 4-2 are like the Cowboys, and
Yeah, three teams out of the NFC East are gonna make the playoffs, and then there's
the
two more.
Vikings are 5-1. I want to say too.
Yeah,
So the Vikings are 5-1. The Giants are 5-1. Philly's 6-0. Cowboys are 4-2. And NFC West is all 3-3, except for the Cardinals are 2-4. Atlanta's 3-3. Tampa's 3-3. New Orleans maybe 2-4.
I
I'm not
think
sure of their
so.
record. And Carolina's got one win. So it's all up in the air, anybody's game at this point.
Yeah,
And so we'll see what happens as things play out.
I think Brady should have stayed retired.
Yeah, he should have. So does Giselle.
Save his marriage.
Sorry, Tom.
Hashtags not too late, Brady.
hashtag hashtag buy
Hashtag
a
it's
bigger
not too
ring.
late. Hashtag hashtag
Yeah.
quit halfway through.
Love you.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday, let's do it. We'll do a little preview. There wasn't much to talk about, honestly. The games were pretty whack this week. There wasn't a lot of good games.
There wasn't that many there wasn't that much scoring.
Mm-mm.
I
It
got
was,
I got the lowest scores I've ever had in like two of my leagues. And I'm like, what the
damn,
hell?
bro.
I need to trade with you.
What do you want to trade?
I don't know.
Live on air trade right now. Like trade Curtis Samuel because I hate that guy now. For Keenan Allen.
I dropped him in like half my leagues.
That does it for our week 6 recap and our fantasy pickups of the week. We'll have another show on Friday to preview all of week 7's games and talk about Thursday night football, what happens between the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah, it's the Saints and the Cardinals. That's going to be a 10-6 game.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner. Taysom Hill all the way. Taysom Hill for running and
Tyler
gunning.
Murley. running for his
Alvin Kamara, you
life.
think Alvin Kamara is going to finally score a touchdown? DeAndre Hopkins is going to have like 10 targets, have like 150 yards receiving and a touchdown. And Alvin Kamara is going to have 175 yards from scrimmage and two touchdowns. Book it. Thursday night preview
I
in the
don't have any.
books. New Orleans is going to win the game on Thursday.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, 150 yards and a touchdown. It's going to have 12 targets, have 9 receptions. Okay.
Well, I gotta know who's playing quarterback for the Saints because if it's Jameis, they're definitely gonna losing. But if it's
Yeah.
Andy Dalton, they got a chance.
Kamara is gonna have 175 yards from scrimmage and two touchdowns. Okay.
All right.
All right. It's gonna be for all the world to see. I'm putting that out there. Put that on the IG. See y'all out there. All right. Peace.